Good evening, it's 5 o'clock. You're with CNN News 18. I'm Ridhima Bhatnagar. Let's begin with our top focus. Imran Khan is all set to address a much-anticipated rally in Islamabad shortly, in which he is expected to make some major announcements that can change the dynamics of Pakistan's politics. Now, sources are telling CNN News 18 that the deal is likely on the table. That may be a win-win situation for both the opposition and the Imran Khan government, provided he agrees to a long list of conditions put forward. Now, the establishment has been asked to let the opposition have its say in foreign funding cases. Sources also telling us that a condition has been present to Imran Khan to make changes to the upper house and also call for early polls after the upcoming budget. So as we've been pointing out that Imran Khan is not just running out of options but running out of time as well. Now with these new set of conditions being put forward, will he survive is the big question. My colleague Tejinder joining us on the phone line. Tejinder, that's the big question. Will he or won't he? What are sources telling you?
See, indeed, it seems that though Imran Khan is trying his level best to remain in power, remain as the Prime Minister of Pakistan, but it seems that he has lost the confidence of the Pakistan Army, because you see in Pakistan, the most powerful institution is Pakistan Army, and the Pakistan Army wants him to go. We are now told that one of the key constituent of the government, his alliance partner, Jamhuri Watan Party, it has also parted way from Imran Khan's government. Jamhuri Watan Party leader Bugti parted ways with the government, and he announced his resignation as Special Assistant to Prime Minister on Reconciliation and Harmony in Balochistan. So it seems that the opposition parties are having an upper hand over Imran Khan-led government, though the sources have told us that Imran Khan is trying his level best to accept the demands being made by the opposition, demands being made by the army. But it seems that Pakistan Prime Minister Imran Khan's days as the Prime Minister of Pakistan are numbered, and he will have to go. Yes.
Tejinder, stay on with us. So as Tejinder was pointing out, another ally has now parted ways. Jamhuri Watan Party leader Shahzain Bugti has parted ways with the government while announcing his resignation as Special Assistant to the Prime Minister on Reconciliation and Harmony in Balochistan. So Tejinder, with more and more allies now moving away, certain very stiff conditions being put forward, what can the possible outcome be? And more importantly, what can we expect from this address that we were expecting to happen a short while ago?
There are several things which are going on in Pakistan right now. Even 50 members of the Pakistan National Assembly, they are not supporting Pakistani Prime Minister. They are the members of Tehreek Insaf Party, and Pakistani Prime Minister Imran Khan knows that they are not going to support him. They are not going to cast their vote in favor of Imran Khan when the no confidence motion vote happens. So 50 members, they have taken refuge in the Pakistan's Sindh House in Sindh. Pakistani Prime Minister Imran Khan knows that even within his party, he has lost the support of his own party members. 50 ministers, they are not going to vote in favor of Pakistani Prime Minister. So Imran Khan knows that his days are numbered. Now that another constituent of the Imran Khan's government, the Jamhuri Watan Party, has also parted its way. So it seems that Pakistani Prime Minister is sailing in a boat which has now many holes in it, and it is the matter of time when this boat is going to sink. Yes.
Tejinder, we'll request you to stay on with us. Senior fellow ORFs, Sushant Sareen also now joining us. Sushant, good evening. Good to have you on the broadcast with us. Before we get in talking about what are the options left, if any, and whether this is actually a quote-unquote win-win deal as far as options before Imran Khan are concerned, but talk to us about what do you think has led to the situation that we are seeing, because interestingly, if you do a bit of history check, no real Pakistan Prime Minister has completed a full 5-year term, but neither of them have seen this no confidence vote either.
Yeah, look, but the thing is that in this particular case, can you just stop the guy screaming in the background? I think it's Murad Saeed from Pakistan. And I can't talk when I'm hearing all that.
Okay, we'll just try and put that audio down. But please continue, Sushant.
Yeah, so I think, look, the historical fact is, of course, that no Prime Minister has ever completed a full term. But I think in every Prime Minister's case, the reason why their continuation has become untenable or impossible has been different. I think in the case of Imran Khan, it was a combination of factors. It was the fact that he ran probably the most disastrous government in Pakistan's history, the most incompetent, inept government. Could not get a handle over the economy. He could not manage the foreign policy. Domestically, I think he created a situation where there was constant unrest. There was political polarization of the sorts Pakistanis had not seen since the 1990s. And he basically turned the clock back. He destroyed relations with Saudi Arabia, with the West, even with China, because that CPEC project, which was supposed to change the destiny of Pakistan, has gone nowhere. And I think a lot of the, angst of the people against the misgovernance of Imran Khan or the clueless governance of Imran Khan was falling on the heads of the army establishment, which brought him in. And clearly they were not willing to take the flak anymore. So one was that factor. And Imran Khan being the megalomaniac and the narcissist that he is, he was not ready to listen to any sane advice. His only advisor and his real advisor was his wife, Pinky Pirni. And she used to do some mumbo jumbo, and then he used to come up with, various people whom he used to pick up. So, for example, the man whom he picked for the Chief Minister of Punjab, the most important province of Pakistan. Pakistan is actually Punjab-occupied Pakistan. Punjab runs everything. It's the controlling authority of Pakistan. You put a bozo out there, a man nobody knew. Even the guy's family does not know him. And he's supposed to run the most important province of Pakistan. He made a complete hash of it. His wife's family, former family, was involved in all sorts of corruption. Transfer, postings, taking money. So Punjab was going to the dust. That was falling upon the army's head also.
Yeah.
So I think it was a combination of factors, and I think the tipping point came when he tried to play politics within the army, when he tried to play general against general, when he tried to interfere in the transfer and postings of top officials, especially of the former DG ISI, who was basically his lackey, his hitman, his political hitman, the man who used to take his chestnuts out of the fire every time he got into trouble. And then he was being posted out, and Imran Khan objected to it and put his foot down and obstructed that particular transfer. That is when I think the army decided that the tipping point has been reached.
No, I think I agree with you that there are, of course, there is the political reasons, as you rightly pointed out. I mean, if you look at the economy, it's in shambles. There are no jobs. There is no growth. There is no talk of prospect. The foreign policy, of course, has major loopholes. But the role of the military also becomes very important, because this was the same military that actually supported him in 2018. Where do you think came the tipping point, and how much of the military's impact is playing out in terms of what we are seeing today?
I think the military's role has been important in the sense that until now the military was propping up his government. Every time it would get into trouble, they would make sure that he survived. But now I think over the last 3 or 4 months, or in fact since October last, they after that fiasco over the ISI chief post,
correct,
they decided that they are going to they're going to play neutral. That means that they are not going to side with the government or with the opposition, which meant that the crutches on which Imran Khan's government was standing had been pulled away, and he had to, one of his alliance partners who's now likely to ditch him and go with the opposition, the PML-Q, and the Speaker of the Punjab Assembly, Chaudhry Parvez Ilahi, he said something very interesting in an interview. He said that Imran Khan was like a child, and the army was continuing to change his nappies, and finally they decided that the nappies have become too expensive, and this kid needs to do things on his own. And this kid has not been able to do things on his own. Now, clearly that was a very, very strong statement against somebody, a 70-year-old man like Imran Khan who still thinks he's 20 or 21 years old.
Yeah.
And clearly a 21-year-old man unable to change his nappies is a no-go area for anybody.
Okay. We'll of course talk about what this means optically as far as Pakistan is concerned and the road ahead. But Sushant, I'll request you to stay on with us. We